My name is Diana Cooper, and the day my family stormed into my product launch and demanded I sell my $4 million apartment to save my gambling-addicted brother, they thought they could ruin me. Instead, they helped me reveal the strongest, most unstoppable version of myself. The grand ballroom at the Ritz-Carlton gleamed with ambition and elegance. Crystal chandeliers hung like constellations above a sea of investors, tech executives, and journalists. This was the culmination of 3 brutal years, 18-hour workdays, endless revisions, ramen dinners, and sleeping on the office floor, but it was worth it. I stood on stage as CEO of Medi Diagnostics, a company about to revolutionize medical AI. The logo shone brightly behind me as I gripped the podium. My voice was calm, my posture firm. I had one job: prove to the world that we could cut diagnostic errors by 70%. The demo began. Our AI processed scans in real time, detecting anomalies that even seasoned radiologists had missed. A live case study silenced the room. Early-stage pancreatic cancer detected by our tech, overlooked by 3 specialists. Dr. Harrison from Mount C gasped aloud. James Mitchell, CEO of Apex Ventures, leaned forward. His firm had been circling us for months. Today would seal our $50 million Series B deal or sink it. My CFO Sarah gave me a subtle thumbs up. The Japanese delegation from Yamamoto Medical stopped taking notes and just recorded. The Bloomberg reporter typed furiously. When I clicked to the final slide, I delivered the closing line ID rehearsed in the mirror 1,000 times. Medi Diagnostics ISNT, just another product. It's a promise that no family should lose someone to a preventable error. The room erupted. Applause, nods, even tears. 3 years of sacrifice had led to this. The moment where everything would change. Mitchell stood, ready to shake my hand. Then, from the back of the room, I heard it. Get out of my way. That's my daughter up there. The applause died as heads turned toward the entrance. Security guards faltered. My mother burst through the doors like a storm, dragging my father behind her, and between them my disheveled, desperate brother Marcus. In that moment, I knew the past I'd buried had come to collect, and they brought reinforcements. Chaos doesn't knock, it kicks the door in. My mother bulldozed past the guards like they were made of cardboard, her voice slicing through the polished atmosphere like a buzzsaw. "That's my daughter!" she screeched. My father followed in her wake, shoulders slumped, eyes scanning nervously. And then Marcus appeared. Gaunt, jittery, eyes darting like he was calculating the room's collective net worth. The disruption was instant. Conversation stopped. Phones came out. The Bloomberg reporter's fingers flew across her keyboard. James Mitchell's brow furrowed. The Yamamoto delegation whispered, visibly unsettled. I froze at the podium, every eye on me now doubled. "Diana Michelle Cooper," my mother barked, stomping down the aisle like she owned the place. "You need to sell that apartment today. Your brother's life is in danger." My world narrowed into one moment: fight, flight, or freeze. I did none of them. I simply stood still, microphone hot, letting her rant echo through the marble room. $500,000, she yelled, waving her phone like a courtroom exhibit. "That's what Marcus owes. Loan sharks. They'll kill him if he doesn't pay by tomorrow." And she pointed at me with all the fury of a prosecutor. "She has a $4 million penthouse, while her brother is about to die." My father added quietly, "That apartment was bought with family money anyway. We supported you." That lie hit like a slap. Heads turned to gauge my reaction. Even some of my team members looked stunned. I could have shouted, could have defended myself. But I stayed silent because I wasn't caught off guard. I'd prepared for this moment like a general before a war. "Security, please don't remove them yet," I said calmly into the mic. My mother took it as a victory. She marched up the aisle, tears ready, rage simmering. "You ungrateful child. We sacrificed everything for you. Your father worked 3 jobs. I gave up my retirement. And this is how you repay us, by letting your brother die." Marcus, now close enough for me to see the tremble in his hands, added in a pitiful voice, "They broke my arm. Diana, next time they won't stop there." Every eye was on me, judging, weighing, calculating whether I was a heartless CEO or a victim of family drama. Let them look, I thought, let them hear the story. Because soon the real narrative would begin. My mother was always a master performer. And today, she played to the audience like a seasoned actress in her final act. She turned from me to them, eyes full of tears on command, voice trembling just enough. We gave her everything, she sobbed. We worked double shifts, took extra jobs, gave up our dreams so she could chase hers. I watched the room. The sympathy was shifting. A few guests frowned in my direction. Even the Bloomberg reporter hesitated, fingers pausing above her keys. Marcus stepped forward, just behind her. She has millions, he said, his voice low, and I'm about to die. I just need this one thing, he held up his cast. They broke my arm. Diana, please, I'm getting help, I swear. Rehab, therapy, I just need one last chance. It was a trap, so well rehearsed it could have been a script. And the crowd was buying it. Parents' sacrifice, my father added, his voice heavy with manufactured disappointment. We never asked for anything back, not until now, lie after lie. The college fund they gave me? They stole it and gave it to Marcus, the support they claimed. Ignored calls, blocked texts, and silence while I worked 3 jobs just to survive college. But none of that mattered to the crowd. Not yet. They didn't know the truth. All they saw were tears and trembling voices. She lives in a penthouse while her brother's life hangs by a thread, my mother said, her voice rising. How do you justify that? I said nothing. Because I didn't need to explain. I needed them to finish, to say every lie, to bury themselves with their own performance. And they did. My mother pulled out a crumpled real estate listing and waved it toward the cameras. $4.2 million. That's how much she paid. While we live in a house falling apart, and Marcus is begging for his life. The optics were terrible. I knew that. But optics are temporary. Documentation is forever. Sell it, she cried. Sell it today and transfer the money by morning. You can save his life and barely feel the loss. Phones filmed. Reporters typed. Investors whispered. My CFO looked at me like she didn't know who I was anymore. That's when I glanced at the side door. Catherine Reynolds had arrived. It was time. The energy in the room shifted the moment Catherine Reynolds walked in. She was poised, composed, dressed in a sleek black suit, with a leather briefcase that promised answers. She didn't rush. She didn't flinch. She simply moved into place like the final chess piece. She caught my eye and gave a slight nod. I returned it. Game on. My mother paused mid-rant, eyes narrowing as she took in the woman's presence. Who is she? She demanded. Catherine said nothing. She didn't need to. She placed her briefcase on a nearby table and calmly opened it. Tabs, folders, evidence. I reached into my own handbag and pulled out a thick envelope. You want to talk about family money? Let's talk, I said into the mic, my voice clear, cold, and steady. The room was silent. $200,000, I began. That's what Grandma Ella Lehner left from my college education. A trust fund, protected, untouchable, until it wasn't. Catherine handed copies of the trust to key figures in the room. Mitchell, the Yamamoto translator, the Bloomberg reporter. 2 weeks before my Stanford tuition was due, I continued, that trust fund was drained. The entire amount gone. Murmurs in the audience. Catherine held up bank statements. Full withdrawal, August 15, 2016. Transferred to an account linked to Robert and Linda Cooper. My mother's face turned crimson. It was an emergency, she said. We needed it for Marcus. Gambling debt, I said, at the Bellagio. And you never paid it back. I took out loans instead. Worked 60 hours a week. 3 jobs. And when I asked for help, I got this. I held up a printout of text messages. Catherine displayed each one on a small projector. September 3rd. Can't help you. Marcus needs us. October 15th. Stop being selfish. Family helps family. December 1st. If you can't manage money, maybe college isn't for you. The silence was deafening. I paid those loans back, I said. Every penny with interest. $220,000 over 5 years. And every dollar is documented. Catherine pulled out a folder labeled Cooper Education Loan Documentation. 2016 to 2021. The Yamamoto delegation leaned forward. Mitchell's eyes never left me. You want to say I owe you? I said to my parents. You signed a document in 2016 acknowledging the withdrawal was a loan. You didn't read it. You thought it was bank paperwork. But your signatures were notarized. Catherine handed out copies. Mitchell read page 3 aloud. Loan agreement between Diana Cooper. My mother gasped. That's not legal. It is, Catherine said, stepping forward. I'm Catherine Reynolds, former federal prosecutor, senior partner at Reynolds and Associates. Everything you see here is legally binding. She turned to the audience. Diana Cooper didn't abandon her family. She protected them even when they didn't deserve it. She paid them back. With interest. While building a life from nothing, Catherine lifted one final document. And here's a restraining order, signed last week, ready to be filed. The moment they threatened her again, you tricked us, my father whispered. You stole from me, I replied. And in that moment, the courtroom of public opinion shifted. Mitchell stepped forward, asking to review the full packet. Catherine handed it to him. He smiled. Impressive, he said. Absolutely extraordinary. The applause didn't come yet, but the support was visible in every face. Because I hadn't just told my story. I had proven it. The applause hadn't started yet, but something more powerful happened. Silence. The kind that settles when truth cuts through noise like a scalpel. The kind that shifts power in the room. My parents felt it too. My mother's face twisted with fury. You ungrateful little. She lunged, grabbing the edge of the stage and pulling herself up. Her fingers clamped around my ankle like a desperate anchor. You're nothing without us, she screamed. Nothing. Security surged forward, but I raised a hand. Let them see, I said into the microphone. Let them see who they really are. Marcus, emboldened, stepped forward. You made it big because of the sacrifices we made. Every success you have came from us. Name one, I said calmly. One sacrifice you made for me. My father, quiet until now, finally spoke. We sold the cabin. Catherine held up another document. The same cabin sold in 2015 to pay off Marcus's Vegas debts? Silence. I turned back to the audience. They didn't sacrifice for me. They used me. Stole from me. Gave everything to Marcus and still expect more. My mother let go of my ankle and sank to her knees. You owe us. We raised you, fed you. You owe us. You raised me. That's called parenting. Not an investment expecting a return. Catherine held up the final envelope. And just to be clear, Diana owes her parents exactly $0. Their own signatures verify it, Marcus shouted. She's leaving her own brother to die. No, I said. I'm leaving you to face consequences. There's a difference. The audience wasn't watching a family drama anymore. They were watching a masterclass in boundary setting. James Mitchell stood and clapped once. Then again. Slowly, others joined in. Applause spread like a wave. It wasn't victory. It was vindication. The standing ovation washed over me, not as validation but as release. The tension that had gripped my body for years finally began to ease. My team rushed to the stage. Sarah hugged me tightly. Diana, she whispered. I had no idea. James Mitchell approached next. That was the most impressive display of documentation and integrity I've ever seen, he said. Forget the $50 million. Let's make it $75. The Yamamoto delegation's translator bowed and said, Mr. Yamamoto respects you greatly. In our culture, what you did is the highest form of honor. We didn't need more applause. We had the truth and results. That same afternoon, Bloomberg published their headline, Tech CEO Destroys Family Manipulation in Viral Masterclass on Boundaries. By the end of the day, the article had over 1.2 million shares. Mitchell's wire for $75 million hit our account before 5 p.m. The Yamamoto team signed a $30 million distribution partnership. Hospital systems that once hesitated were suddenly calling. Johns Hopkins, Mayo Clinic, Cleveland Clinic. Our valuation didn't just rise, it skyrocketed. From $200 million that morning to $600 million by market close. But the numbers weren't the real victory. The real victory was peace. My parents didn't call, Marcus didn't text. No one showed up at my apartment. Silence had never been so beautiful. That weekend, my team held a private dinner. Just us. No speeches, no press. Just a cake that read, Boundaries are beautiful. Catherine Reynolds became more than my lawyer. She became my friend. She told me, the brilliance wasn't just your preparation. It was your patience. You let them implode publicly and never raised your voice. She was right. I didn't need to scream. I just needed to document. And now, for the first time in my life, I could breathe without bracing for the next betrayal. 6 months later, Medi Diagnostics IPO'd at a $2 billion valuation. The day of the bell-ringing ceremony on Wall Street, I wore a sharp crimson suit symbolizing strength, clarity, and no more apologies. There were no parents in the audience. No Marcus, no drama. Just my team, my investors, and a row of women engineers who told me I inspired them to believe they could lead. After the bell rang, Catherine handed me a small gift box. Inside was a brass plaque that read, "Your piece is not up for negotiation." I laughed, teared up, and hugged her tightly. Since then, we've grown. Our software is in over 300 hospitals worldwide. Diagnostic error rates dropped by 43% in the first 3 months of implementation. We didn't just make noise, we made change. I started a foundation, the Ella Lanier Fund, named after my grandmother. It supports students whose families betrayed them, stolen college funds, coercive debt, emotional blackmail. We provide legal aid, housing, scholarships, and therapy. In our first year, we helped 612 students reclaim their lives. People ask if I regret what happened that day. I don't wish them pain. I wish them healing. But they won't find it with me. I built a life not just of success, but of sovereignty. And that's worth more than any amount of blood, guilt, or forced loyalty. They thought they could shame me into submission. But that day, I didn't just protect my company, I reclaimed my life. Remember this, boundaries aren't cruelty, they're clarity. You don't owe anyone access to your peace, no matter their title or relation. If you've ever had to choose between yourself and someone else's chaos, choose you. Every time, like this story. Hit that like button, subscribe for more jaw-dropping real-life revenge stories, and share it with someone who needs the courage to say, enough.